Unfiltered by Jade.
Jade.
Welcome to the Unfiltered by Jade, where we educate, empower, and entertain. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, download, donate, and make everybody know about this.
Beats by RB Records.
Shopping assistance, your style, your budget. Our services include online and local shopping for individuals and businesses, personal shopping, purchasing of company and office supplies, importing and exporting small packages across Jamaica and worldwide, and helping you find unique gifts and items for all events and occasions. Contact us at 876-919-5195 or shoppingassistance2015@gmail.com. Shopping Assistance, your style, your budget.
Hello, thank you for joining us. What we'll be looking at is the topic of nurture and growth. Now, these two are related, but the thing is, one always is a precursor, and that's the nurture stage. So essentially, depending on what you're looking at, you need to have what to nurture before you can actually have growth take place. To bring this example out, I'll be looking at the journey of a seed. Now, what is interesting is, whether you're talking about an oak tree, a mango tree, an orange tree, or even grass, they all start out in the very same way. Most plants, all plants, start out as seeds. However, even though they start out as seeds, they don't all end up in the same place in the same way. But that's the outcome. Let's look at the seed. The seed in its simplest form is made up of three main parts: an embryo, an endosperm, and what is called the seed coat, or the protective outer layer. When all these are in place in the right way, a seed can last for hundreds and even thousands of years. What this maintains, or what this conveys, is that it is stable. A seed is a stable place where a mini plant, which is really what the embryo is, a small plant, a tiny plant with a root, a stem, and even what will become the leaves, an endosperm, which is the nutritive tissue of the seed, which is a combination of starch, oil, protein, whatever the seed will need to grow until it can start the process of photosynthesis. And then the final protective layer is called the seed coat. Now, the seed coat serves many purposes. One of them is it is protection. The other one is it encapsulates everything to keep it nice and stable. But one of the characteristics that typically goes unmentioned is the fact that the seed coat is made up of some very complex sensors. These sensors are put in place, or they serve the purpose of ensuring that the seed never tries to grow in the wrong place. So literally, what activates a seed is actually the condition under which growth can actually take place. Now, there's a lesson in that for us, because as we go into a new year and we embarked on all the planning that is usually associated with growth, with, just having the future lay out itself in front of us, is that people want to see outcomes that they desire. Many people have a weight loss plan, they have a finance plan, they have an academic plan, they have family plan, they have a romantic plan. They have plans for every aspect of life. And that's the journey of the human existence. We're planning, always planning. But what we see here is that the seed has an outer layer called a seed coat, and it will always sense the best environment. Now, as we embark on our planning, we have to ensure that wherever we're going to put our potential, which is our seed, we have to ensure that it's detecting the right space, the right circumstance, the right situation. You have to ensure that you're in the right relationship. You're around the right people, around the right crowd, around the right tribe for you to actually not only get started with growth, but also be able to support the resilience that is required to actually grow to full potential. So as we break down what's happening with the seed coat, we recognize that growth, in order for germination of growth, in order for you to head into your full potential, you actually need to have your comfort zone. Your seed coat has to be broken away, because that is how you get unstable enough for growth. Remember, we said that the seed coat keeps the embryo and the endosperm in a perfect state of balance. So a seed can be stored for hundreds and thousands of years. But in this new year, as you plan to grow and embark on these new opportunities, these new potential investments, this investment in you the product, in you the person, in your relationship, in your family, in your health, whatever it is that's on your to-do list of things that you want to accomplish in the year ahead and the years to come, you have to first break free of that protective layer of your endosperm, your comfort zone, and recognize that it has to take place in a space that growth can actually be achieved. The endosperm is the nutritive tissue of the seed, and it has what is needed to go for a short time until you can actually figure out growth. Photosynthesis in plants is a factory of continuous power and energy and growth. But until that can get going by leaves and roots and all those systems kicking in, it actually needs to have enough energy to get going. So whatever it is you have planned, ensure you have some reserve, whether it's resources, it's time, it's finances, you have people you can pull on. Ensure that you have a support network, because when you embark on growth, you're going to need it to be sustained, you're going to need to be resilient, and you're going to need that ecosystem that will keep you going until you're able to stand on your own. This is a lesson for someone that's about to start a business, that's about to change a relationship, that's about to leave a relationship, that's about to immigrate or change location. Whatever it is you're about to embark on, whatever it is you're going to be putting your energies into, whatever you're going to be pouring your time and resources into, ensure that first you have that which you need to start the process of growth. And once you have gone into growth mode, then you have to realize that, one, there has to be a destructive necessity. That's where you break free of that which shields you, that seed coat, because it not only protects and shields you, but it actually retards your growth. If you're too comfortable, if you're not hungry enough, if you're not driven enough, if you're not passionate enough, you will not produce at the level that will sustain your growth and make you different from whatever else is in the market. You have to ensure that you show up, you dress up, you show up, and you perform. And you have to be ready to recognize that you're going to have to break away. When you watch a rocket take off, it doesn't try to keep the stand that supported it throughout its entire launch. It has to break free of all that structure that was around it, recognizing that's where it's going. It's going to need something else. It's going to need to be in a different space because it's going somewhere different. The explosive nature of germination is what takes place on the fuel that you actually showed up with. Your potential, your startup capital, your resources, your work plan, your project plan. These things are your explosive nature of germination. That's a part of what is needed. But for the long run, for the marathon, what you really need is the resilience. Because that is what is going to sustain the growth over a protracted period of time so you can get to where you need to go. So firstly, we looked at the fact that even though you're protected by your seed coat, you literally have to go through the destruction of that protective layer for you to actually fall away from that space and become that which you're intended to be. Right? You may have to endure trials, right? You may have to be misunderstood. But for you to actually start germinating, you have to break free of that comfort zone. The process of germination came next. And literally, you cannot grow until you start, which is true. The old adage says, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So 1,000 miles, you can't begin that journey without taking that first step. So as you germinate, as you pull on what you already have, you need to recognize that whether it's the support of faculty, friends, co-workers, family, colleagues, your tribe, you have to make sure that you have a belief system that gets you where you need to go. And you have to have a true source. You have to be able to lean on someone, on some system, on something when you are not all that you need to be, when you need strength. Because that's the only way you're going to make it into the phase where the reward that comes from resilience, which is also equal to what is called growth. As you move forward, remember that the harvest is not just the culmination of growth, but is also the beginning of your impact, your reach, you showing up, you showing off, and you delivering on the potential that was put inside you. For some, it may take 1 year. For some, it may take a few weeks. For some, it may take a number of years. When we look at some of the examples set by those who have done amazing things in our society and world, we recognize that there's really no script that one can follow without finding their own path to success. You can listen to 1,000 stories. I can give you a complete checklist, but the truth is you have to figure out where you intend to go, how your gifting aligns with those plans that you have, and what resources you have to help you get to the point where you can produce the harvest. Remember, a calling is not just about growth, but you also have to make sure that as you grow, you bring others along. You have to ensure that you walk in such a way that if people followed in your footstep, they will find themselves in a much better place than they were before. With your gifting, with the resources that were allocated to you as your potential, you also have the responsibility to show up and deliver in a way that make it better for those around you. I hope you were able to draw some lessons from the journey of the seed. Whether it's in the state where it's stable, it's in its cocoon, it's in its couch, it's in its comfort zone, to the point where it detects where success is possible, the environment is conducive to it, and then that requires breaking free of your launching pad, recognizing that where you are is not where you're going. Always remember, surround yourself not only in the right environment, but the right people, the right tribe, the right set of systems around you to ensure that once you start the journey, you will have the support to continue the journey until you actually succeed. Remember, growth comes from resilience. So in this new year, be resilient. Be purposeful and intentional in your use of time, in your use of energy, and also recognize your big responsibility of not only to yourself, but to your community, your society, and to your nation and the world. Your presence matters, your impact matters, and your growth is something that you owe to not only yourself, but to those around you. Press forward and keep growing and keep being amazing. Have a wonderful year.